Welcome back to the channel. This is Football Temple brought to you by Azar Studios. The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup is down to its final four team. Fluminense from Brazil, Chelsea from England, Paris Saint-Germain from France, and Real Madrid from Spain. The defending champion Manchester City have been booted out for a very long time, and we're now down with just two former winners of this competition. Are we going to have an all-European final? Are we also going to see a first-timer winning it in either PSG or Fluminense? Uncanny Sam and the Bishop joins me as we look at the semi-final of the FIFA Club World Cup. My first question, guys. At the start of the 32 teams competition, I know, of course, Paris Saint-Germain were held high as one team to advance.
Yeah.
I also know a team like Real Madrid were held high. But did you see Chelsea and Fluminense getting this far?
First of all, I want to congratulate Kani Sam concerning Chelsea. No, I like to be modest when it comes to things like this.
Take your L.
No. You're not even fair. I was expecting those places that were specific. You should have. What are you talking about?
Because he did say Chelsea would beat
he said
Fluminense, and they found a way, you know.
They didn't find a way.
They did.
Apart from the Madrid game, I got everything right.
Yeah, everything right.
Yeah.
I got everything right except the Chelsea game, unfortunately. But it is what it is. But at the end of the day, let's be realistic. I think Chelsea have proved they've ended their sport. Love it or hate it, they've ended their sport. They beat some teams, you know, from the Brazilian teams, you know. They say they have an easy route. Who cares? You know my golden rule.
Competition.
Simple. Beat what's
Consume what
before
is in
you.
front of you.
Absolutely.
But come on, you're not going to take the fact that you know with the ground why I predicted that Chelsea is going to win.
Yeah.
The quality of the
team.
team.
Fluminense team, yeah.
Is it from Enzo or Palmeiras?
Palmeiras team, I beg your pardon, play from
That was my reason. If Chelsea is going to play
But Chelsea have been a thorn in the flesh of South American teams. This
well,
but they lost one.
Of course, they lost to Flamengo. Convincingly lost, right?
Although you could also attribute it to the stupidity of
Enzo
the game.
Jackson.
It's the game.
But it's the game.
That's what they'll tell you. It's the game.
Yeah.
Even though we can go on and
On.
on. I mean, we'll just go back and say, what do they call it? Al Hilal defeated Man City because of the brilliancy of what was his name? Bono. Not because they were a better team.
Yeah.
That's how we want to be. You understand? So no point doing all those things. Like I said, right? Palmeiras among the South American teams actually, so believe me. But Fogo was better. Flamengo was better. Palmeiras, how they even got to that's why it was a surprise for me that they defeated Botafogo.
Yeah. So it was a surprise to everybody.
Botafogo, yeah.
They fired the manager.
It was on that ground I was saying, look, I don't see this team that actually watch over defeating Chelsea.
Yeah.
As far as Chelsea is, look, defeating Palmeiras for me does not change the fact that Chelsea is still for now, Chelsea is an average team. I mean, with even the kind of signing they're doing, they're still a developing team because they're still doing the Estavao, what's his name, Yao Naves, Yao Pedro and the rest of them. So, I mean, convincing performance. They didn't just defeated them, they defeated them convincingly because first half they were better team, second half they falter a little, then the last 25 minutes they pick up, you understand? Yeah. And they had a good game for me. That's what matters.
But do you think they can get past Fluminense?
Their game, I mean, well, let's get there first. I think we're coming there. I guess Fluminense, I'm going with Fluminense straight. I don't just get to the final. I'm not saying all European final.
But seriously, come on, man. I think everybody who has been who made it to the last four have earned their coin. Whether Fluminense, whether Chelsea, whether Real Madrid, whether it's because PSG, come on, absolutely God. See, sometimes I watch PSG and I'm like, what has Enrique done to this team? This team needs to be
funny enough, the
over the
performance
place.
was almost at par.
With Bayern.
Yeah,
It looked like
there
was at par.
There was this, you know,
But it was how lack of clinical.
Apart from the fact that PSG know how to up the ante when they need to. I
didn't know when this guy goal was cancelled.
Yes.
Or
Mecano. Yeah, in the first half.
I didn't know when it was cancelled.
so you thought it was still there.
Yeah, I was still then later I came back. I was like, what happened? So because they created chances, both teams. They were almost at par. They were going at each other.
Company has.
I think
Company has proved to me that he can manage at a big stage.
Now you agree with what I said the other day.
Yeah,
you agree with that. Now that day you said you don't even expect a victory. You said you expect a complete dispatch.
Washout.
That wasn't what happened. If Kingsley Coman was a bit clinical, like I say, it's the game. Somebody's going to say if he can't do it in the course of the game.
But man,
if he's never
company is building, is cooking something nice and bad.
Knows what he's doing. He knows his onion. Not a bad coach. Probably getting to the level of Arteta, I think.
Well, let's go to the semi-final preview properly. Let's look at Chelsea Fluminense Tuesday, of course, our first semi-final. the Blues have a chance to reach yet another Club World Cup final. It will be their third. They've won one and lost one in the past.
Yeah.
The first they lost was to the Brazilian side.
Yeah.
And then, of course, came back to win it with a third chance. For everything, it's looking like it's working out well for Maresca in a certain manner. You know, qualifying for the Champions League, winning the Conference League. You know, getting to the Club World Cup, semi-final of the Club World Cup, signing player with ease. And to be honest,
made more money than Man City and every other person.
And I think Chelsea might have gotten a good buy in João Pedro.
Yeah,
because
certainly they do.
You could see a proper performance from a proper player that can lead the line.
Yeah,
I think Jackson should find a club elsewhere. Probably.
I think so too.
They've given him by $100. You know, sorry, Remo Stars $100.
No,
so it should come to
should go and join Noni.
To Noni Madueke. But let's look at Chelsea. You know, before the semi-final against a Fluminense side. You know, Hercules was the hero for Fluminense.
Yeah,
in their last man, he's been the hero in the last 2 games for them. But just as Chelsea find a way to, of course, quench Estevao, even though he got a goal, he did say he'll get a goal against
the same goal.
Like it's
a
proper goal
but again,
that makes me want to knock the head
of Sanchez
as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
How do you stand in that kind of position and you have been scored from that position? Chelsea do have a problem in goal line, but for the Blues, Maresca, I think Maresca is getting it right.
Sincerely speaking, he's not a decent coach, but come on, he knows what he's doing. He's growing. He's understanding his game properly.
He's learning the ropes with Chelsea. Fantastic.
Like I said, I'm waiting to see who Chelsea will be letting out. Right, but
because they have
talking about the game,
they have 16 attackers. 16.
Talking about that game properly, right? Against Fluminense. If you ask me who's going to win, any day in time, I'll tell you Fluminense is going to win that game. That doesn't mean that Chelsea can win that game. It's sport. It's football.
So Fluminense are favorite for you.
For me, Fluminense are favorite. That does not change the fact that Chelsea can win and still get to the final and probably do what the Opta predicted that is going to happen. But who has an upper hand here? Who looks like a team that is more organized? Who, for me, is Fluminense. Sincerely speaking,
I mean, beating.
Now, to also make it the quality of game that they play for me.
Fluminense has not lost a game since May of 2025. Going back to 11 games unbeaten in all competition. They had to taste defeat also in the Club World Cup.
Because
of the 4 teams. Okay, only Madrid tested defeat.
Yeah, they already have. Who
beat Madrid?
They lost. They didn't lose.
Madrid.
No, they drew a game.
They drew. So only they and Madrid have not tasted defeat.
Yeah.
In this competition,
it
tells you how
you can see where I'm coming from. I'm just talking about
what I've seen them play.
What I've seen them play. I mean, in their backline, by the time you put their 8 together, one down something. You understand?
It's crazy. It's
crazy. But me, it's not even about that. It's what I've actually watched. What I've seen them play with conviction. They know what they're doing. Talented players. There's a plan. You understand?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I told you, I said I don't see Al Hilal defeating them. I said it here.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening. Because if it happens, then I'll go all the way to support Al Hilal. Probably I might even travel to the US just go and support to do what the other guy did. To go and praise other people neck like the other guy did, in the other video. So it wasn't a shock for me. The only episode that was a bit that none of it was a surprise. Not even the Madrid defeating Dortmund, that was a surprise to me. No, they were all predictable results and they came out the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So going to the final, like I said, against Chelsea, speaking any day, anytime, I will go with Fluminense because I've seen Chelsea play. When Chelsea come up against a compact side, I know they struggle. Yeah. We saw it against Flamengo, right? And in Fluminense, you have compact side. Do Chelsea have what it takes to break compact side? No. I understand the coming of Pedro has brought something different to the team, right? But him alone cannot do what... I mean, and he's coming up against his fellow South American side.
Yeah.
But
him alone cannot be different.
Player.
Exactly. I think if you look, apart from the fact that João Pedro brings something special, I think it turns on kill that debate of who's going to lead the line. When he came in from the bench, he just came in, he took that over that position by the scuff of the neck.
Garcia Gonzalez is the one leading for Madrid right now because of his this thing, then I'm not surprised. If you're good, you're good. Just go on.
I think the guy has shown that he can lead the line, and it gives Chelsea the X factor. They will say, Chelsea are don't have a prolific number 9, but they've got players who can play their part or play their role. Maybe Palmer coming with the go here and there. They go from maybe this James, but now they've got a proper number 9. There's a Kukurea as well. They've got a proper 9 who can then score goals. But like you said, I think I'll go Fluminense because of the way they're a bit compact. They have a plan. They're not flamboyant. They're not exquisite. But like you said, with Thiago Silva and of course goalkeeper who's chasing Shelton's record and the former England goalkeeper, and of course the way they play their football, they are effective, efficient, and they like. And what I keep saying, they have a plan. But Chelsea, it's just cast your lot and find out.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
If it works, fine and good. If it doesn't work, we'll go back home.
But at some point, for a club like Chelsea, they should have a blueprint. And that's my plan with Enzo Maresca.
I feel beyond the tournament, Chelsea is going to have a blueprint because a lot of guys need to leave Chelsea. So, I mean, if some of these names are even playing,
Can they have a blueprint under Enzo Maresca? I still doubt that.
Well, see, that's something
I think Maresca is beginning to understand.
Just like the way you're hard on Maresca right now.
Yeah.
That was how hard I was on. What was his name? Company. Vincent Company. Yeah.
But Vita has bought some love from
Simple.
me.
So what?
Has Maresca bought anything from me? I don't think
this is Maresca's. Well, they are both their first year. No, first season.
Both
The
first
two of
year,
them
both
are
first season,
in their first season, and the two of them have probably been through almost the same competition.
Yeah.
They were in Europe,
Champions,
at
they were in
different
league,
level.
yeah.
Different level, yeah.
And this, I think the Maresca I saw at the beginning of last season, not the America I'm seeing right now.
You think he has
could see-
evolved?
Yes, he has. You
He
could see
become
his input
better?
in the
I
game.
think he now understands.
A bit better. You know his team better.
knows
right?
his
A
he's
bit better because he
than
stayed longer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Because like I did say, he picked got selection right in the quarterfinal and in the round of 16. He got selection right in the group that he was all over the place. But I want to see when I watch a Madrid team play, I see the input of Xabi Alonso.
About a coach that's developing players. That has one of the youngest team right now. These guys are yet to understand this.
There's no
they are not
cohesion,
there
exactly, yeah,
yet.
they're not
It's
there
not about cohesion. It's about the nature of the team. The nature of the team by this. They know the team that they're not shouty.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some of these guys might be expensive, but they're not shouty.
Shouty.
They're quite
Expensive,
young. You
upcoming,
understand? They're still developing.
upcoming, yeah.
In some
Work
teams,
in
in some
progress.
teams, these guys will be still on the bench. To come in at some point.
Absolutely.
You understand? So
So
what are we
to
talking
add to
about?
Chelsea, Moses Caicedo returns.
Good news.
He missed the last game, but of course, unfortunately, Leverkusen will misses out through suspension. Stupid
Sadly.
yellow card.
Yeah,
that
very
he should have
very
avoided
yellow card.
Against.
Good
of
news,
course,
Badashile returns.
Badashile returns, but I do think that maybe Etosi Aderabioyo could go into centre back. But we must speak of two players for Chelsea: Marc Cucurella and of course Cole Palmer. I think Cucurella is evolving. He's one player that, for what it is, I don't know how.
I want to hear. Is it the best left back in world football?
Because
No,
I don't think the
No,
type of
the way he
when you
plays.
keep Nuno Mendes.
No, Nuno is in the world of his own.
So because one thing with Cucurella is that now
boy
you
is
could
everywhere.
see, you could see clearly that Estaval was a raw talent.
but he stopped.
But the
it.
boy did
He
not
stopped
care that this guy is only playing in the next 24 hours. He will be on the same team and wearing the same jersey with you. Man, he went out
went
for
hard,
Estaval
went hard on
and
him.
went so hard on him. I think Chelsea are lucky to have a consistent left back because they've
Yeah,
missed
fact.
They've missed it since Alonso left.
Yeah.
And the fact that
was Alonso really consistent?
Alonso
Yeah, he
was.
was.
Alonso was because for his role
Yeah, he
as
played
a
it-
full
wing
back,
back,
he was
wing
as a
back.
wing back. He was consistent. They tried with Cahill. It didn't work out. You know, the English factor maybe, and maybe talent was skin deep. Let me say, maybe talent was skin deep. But these two players could be a huge factor.
Cold.
Palmer once again.
Like I said, when the next,
Funny enough, let's be very realistic. He has scored some number of goals, but he has not been fantastic. He just came
But
to
he steps up.
the party in the
Yes,
last
he
game
steps
when
up.
it matters
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most.
that's the important thing. When he
Now,
did him,
my
steps
issue
up.
is I was beginning to write him off. I was beginning to look at him as a
One season wonder.
one hit wonder. You understand? But I just hope he's going to prove me wrong. I need more from him. Yes,
I think it's
He
I
set
think-
the bar so high for
exactly.
himself. And reaching that height.
I think
is
he's a
not
victim
problem.
of his own achievement.
So do we not did he
Yes.
actually set the bar high for himself? He was just lucky to score those number of
No,
goals.
he
I
said
don't
the
think he
bar.
was
No.
not because
You can't be so lucky for a whole season.
You can't be lucky
For
and
a whole
score
season,
24.
yes.
He was barely 3 goals.
He
behind
set the
than
bar so
Haaland.
high. I think he just brings me back to a certain man Odegaard at Arsenal. You know, Odegaard set the bar so high right now. If he doesn't get,
If he doesn't hit that number
it's not
for
gonna
a
be
season,
But that's not that comparison is not on the same level. I bet.
I know.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
talking
giving
about
an example.
the player's
People are
performance.
victim of their
when
own
you set
achievements.
it's just like, of course,
Yes.
let's put it as an
See,
example now. If
see.
Cristiano Ronaldo scoring 10 goals in a season,
Yeah, it's very bad.
No,
It's questionable.
that is the difference. Now you guys are actually talking. Now, the difference between them and this guy is consistency. Now, don't tell me that you set the bar too high. If you're a good player, consistency is your hallmark.
Yeah.
So, no matter the number of goals, when you say score the number 20, the 20
get-
goals,
get
get
to it.
close. And if you can't do that, it shows you are just a one hit
If you can't even get- if you can't even get close and he gets assists.
If Odegaard scored about, is it 11 or how many goals in a season before? I mean last season.
and
And this time
struggling to
around,
hit the same number.
4-5 goals. So you're telling me it shows something is not right.
Well-
It shows he's not a good player. You understand? Because the hallmark of a decent player is
It's
consistency.
consistency. Yeah, I agree.
No matter how bad it is, you
But
always
for
produce
me,
that
I think
result.
he stepped up in the
See,
semi-final.
at some
He
point,
stepped up. Quarterfinal.
at some point, he was a shadow of himself. Talking about Cole Palmer, yes. I think he only came to the party in the last game.
I think he went over 30 games without scoring.
That doesn't even matter for me. I'm talking about. See, at times
He
for me,
went
beyond the
a
goals-
long route. without
For me,
scoring.
beyond the goals, right? Your contribution, your general
in the game.
contribution.
He wasn't even
your
assisting
overall
either.
contribution. Yeah.
That's the paper. He wasn't even assisted either. But like I said, when they needed him the most, he stepped up. I watched that game. That's a typical Cole Palmer goal. Turn, swivel, and then place. But again, like I said, he needs to do it consistently at the highest level.
Chelsea Fluminense, who goes through?
Whew. I look at my crystal ball and I
No,
just
so don't go to that. You have been a bishop of I don't know what you have been looking at. Which crystal ball you want to look? The same one we want most leaders as 3.
no. I'll keep you in check this time around.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea will be knocked out.
Chelsea
Chelsea will be knocked out,
you
right?
insist Fluminense will go. Of
course.
course, the guys in the
Chelsea
studio
is gonna-
think it's the end of the road for Enzo Maresca and his Chelsea side. Of course,
Hopefully I get it right this time.
Gittins is not a Chelsea player, but he will not be
Yeah.
in that game.
Cup time.
Only our Pedro will be able to play for Chelsea. Let's go to the second semi-final. It's an all-European semi-final as expected, as predicted. And it's a Paris Saint-Germain, of course, European champions, up against serial European champions in Real Madrid. And the last time both sides met. Yes, of course.
I think before even talking about that,
Syria
let's
European champions.
talk about their quarterfinal games first.
Yeah.
We'll go there. We'll go there. Now, the fact that Kylian Mbappe will be playing his former team for the first time
You see that beautiful
since
goal?
he moved from
Paris
Paris,
Saint-Germain.
of course, to Spain. Then bringing it to the quarterfinal game, Real Madrid, of course, Bayern Munich. Unfortunately for Yamal
Dortmund.
Musiala,
Punishable.
Horri-
Punishable.
horrific.
horrendous injury.
Punishable.
Horrific.
Broken leg, shattered knee, shattered ankle, I beg your pardon. 4 to 5
I
months.
feel for
I just
for
hope my initial I just
Musiala.
hope this is not the end of him.
Honestly,
He's just coming
speaking,
from a
He's
he's just coming
come
from
back
a
from 3 months.
hamstring injury for over 3 months to
just-
play your
that
first
was-
your first
he
start
just played
and
4
return back to the
games.
doctor's
4
office.
games.
First start. It is not only horrific, it is horrendous.
I feel for him
It's
because
excruciating.
It's crazy.
Hey, come on, man.
You know, when that tackle happened, the moment
The way Broya looked away, I knew something was wrong.
That's what I'm saying. The difference between great players, right, and the difference between great players and other players, right, is the ability to stay fit.
Luck.
That luck.
That
yeah,
luck,
that
that
luck
luck
to
is
because
Because I keep
that
saying
staying
it.
fit is a
I keep
huge
saying
luck.
it.
But
I
again,
keep saying it.
but
I keep
again,
saying
some
just
players,
like-
some
just like
players
I
don't
want
help
to-
themselves. Like
At
I'll
times you cannot
digress.
define some of these things.
Jack
At times you
Wilshere
cannot
likes to get into stupid challenges and he
Forget
hurts him.
about this.
I'm not giving an example. Some players don't help
about in real
themselves.
distance here.
Now, tell about
now,
now
here is it,
players
right?
to go into that
My
tackle, not
argument,
injured.
Yes.
my argument for sorry to digress a little, to go back to tennis a little. My argument for Novak any day anytime is the fact that he has been consistently
Yeah, for a
fit.
long time. Yes.
If Federer and Nadal
Had that
were
same
this
consistency,
consistently fit,
would have done better.
They would have done better.
Yeah.
That has been my argument. Same thing. Each time I look at players like when we talk about Carlos, the Brazilian defender now for Madrid, Roberto Carlos.
Roberto.
He's one guy that I always use when it comes to staying fit.
He was overfit.
He stays
He never
fit.
had a- he never had a
He might
off-
not be
a
that.
bad day, off day.
Good player, quite okay, but take away staying fit.
must be
Probably he
fit.
wouldn't have been the player
Yes.
we're talking about. The Ronaldo, Lima
He
of this
played
world,
every
and the
other
other guys that we
Lima
talk
was
about.
injured every other
Injury
day, yeah.
makes their career. So if you're lucky that injury does not make your career as a player, right? We've seen players that injury. I mean, look at Ansu Fati. Ansu
Yeah.
Fati was given £265,000 a week.
And
Because
injury-
he looked like
and
the guy.
injury makes
Then
him-
injury came up, and till now he has not been himself.
to push
Monaco.
Monaco.
And he's not ready to. He's just going on loan because he wants to take away that money because he's not so sure that beyond this,
can
how
play
long?
football
Yeah,
again.
I mean, look at Musonda. We just talked about Musonda
28,
last week.
38.
38. So when I saw
28.
those pictures, I couldn't even look at the picture again.
It was horrific.
I just flipped. It was horrific. It was horrific.
Painful. Excruciating.
And
Like
so
I said,
young.
I don't want
And they're saying 5 months. I just hope in 5 months he's going to be
5
fit
months,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he is. I hope
I just hope
he
he's going to
because
be fit in the
the
4
end of
5
the year,
months.
That's the year is
that's-
almost
No,
done.
so the
for
biggest
me.
question is what's common crazy in basketball? The same thing is happening in football. The same thing is happening.
Too many
Does it have to do
games.
with
Is it-
age?
is it
Does it have to do with
congestion?
Oh,
with
but-
See,
It's what
in
they
his
eat.
case, you cannot even speak of congestion because he's not been playing.
Playing.
He's not been playing.
He's just returning.
Well, it is what it is. Let's come to the field of play. Good game for.
And I think his exit affected that game.
Yeah,
Impacted that
it
game
did
so
a
much.
huge lot.
It did
Because
impact.
come on,
They were
you could feel his
dampened.
impact.
You feel-
You could
they
feel his
were all
impact
gloomy.
before his
Yes,
injury.
yes, yes.
Then after that injury, I mean, I remember now. You remember what happened? That's now in the course of winning this league. It was the 2008, 2009, right?
And then this guy had it.
Eduardo
Eduardo had that injury.
and the
The season
weird
collapse.
bro. The season
Collapse.
collapsed.
Was that not when Birmingham beat Arsenal?
Absolutely.
Yes, the season collapsed.
You-
They
you're
were ahead
right.
at either
7,
8 or
8
9 points.
Yes.
And that was the end. They win about 4-5 matches without winning a game since
Kind
that
of the
injury.
Champions
And Eduardo
League,
was in his best.
lost
Eduardo was in
the
the
FA
best form of
Wenger's
his life.
best opportunity to win another
Eduardo was in
trophy.
his best form of his life when he got it.
Eduardo, yeah, he had that injury. It was his leg was dangling. I can remember.
Real
Yeah.
Madrid, Garcia again.
But please, I want to
Yeah.
ask you, if you're Alonso right now, what you be thinking? Gonzalo, Garcia, or Mbappe, who came in and with that stunner? Because
Well, I mean, it's perfect right now for me.
What do you do?
Rodrigo, go, Mbappe, play from the wing.
That's it.
Gonzalo,
I think it's sorted.
you're the guy in the middle.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
what it
What,
means is
Rodrigo
he
did
now
not,
has to switch-
don't forget, Rodrigo
he
did
now
not
has to
start.
switch to a back
Don't
four.
forget, Rodrigo did not start the last game. If you look at the attack, it was Bellingham.
No, you know,
Vinicius Junior
it's because
and
Madrid
Gonzalo.
are playing a
Pivot.
3-5-2.
That I'm saying. So
what
do
it
you
means
convert
is-
to a 4-3-3
what it means is switch it.
to accommodate
Switch it.
Gonzalo?
That's what
Switch
it
it.
means. No, you have to.
Okay.
Because the ovation is loudest for the boy. He has shown that he can be.
I wouldn't even want to the truth is I wouldn't trade him for
for Mbappe now.
I mean, I wouldn't
Because
trade
Kylian
Mbappe
is
for
not a
him.
number 9.
I wouldn't trade Mbappe for him. He's not number 9, but he scored how many goals? First season in
We
Spain.
agree.
That's the justification.
But, well, of course.
That's the justification. First season in Spain started very slow, ended up scoring how many
bang,
goals?
bang, bang,
I
bang.
think it was
You
top
understand?
scorer, was he?
Top scorer. Yeah.
The top
He's
scorer
good.
in
So what are you
Bayern.
talking about? So I can't let him go for a Gonzalo
Gonzalo
just because
Garcia.
of 4 5 goals.
So you
In
have
a
to
World Club
accommodate- you have to
competition.
accommodate both of them because one is in superb form.
Let's watch him against Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Let's watch him against Atletico Madrid. Let's watch him again. No, going back to their league first. Let's see how
I think Alonso
impactful he
has
will be.
faith in him.
So for me, like for now,
I think Alonso
it's
has
simple. Rodrigo go. I mean, Rodrigo is on set to. It's so clear.
You said to.
He's on set to. He's
After
on
starting
set
the
to.
first game, it's very started.
He's on set to. It's so clear.
Yeah,
So
I started
it's
against
just
him,
easy for him. Rodrigo moved. Mbappe go back to a traditional wing position. Gonzalez play from this position,
Gonzalo starts
and
to
we're
play.
good.
Now let's look at semi-final. What chances for Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain?
He's gonna be.
Right.
I think PSG will always be. Come on now. Come on. We see.
No
there's
chance
a-
for Real Madrid.
There is chance. There's a chance. Don't put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is this: Real Madrid is always going to be a chance. With the color of players they have, there's always going to be a chance. Mbappe. We talk about Gonzalo right now.
Mbappe should
Talk about-
start his first
We have
game.
Jude
in the Club
Bellingham,
World Cup.
fantastic
It
player.
means that there's
Yeah.
a huge chance that Gonzalo might go to the bench.
Bench. You know what I'm saying? So they've got a good team. But with
What do we
PSG,
take good information and start the 2 of them?
And
He
it's-
can,
that means
he
goes,
could.
He goes far at the back.
far at the
Yeah.
back, yes. So at the end of the day, I can keep saying it, but PSG will be favourite because of the way they play.
But how will you
But
even
they've
think
got a
that?
chance.
But how will you even think that he's going to go with the 4 at the back with the nature of the PSG team? Even if you're the coach of Madrid, won't you go with 4 at the back? We want to
No,
start with 3 back.
you know, playing a 3-5-2 means that they are playing
Five players at the
defenders.
back. It can be possible.
Because
With just two
your
wing backs.
two wing backs are
You
actually
help defenders, but they help you.
So it's
Well, but they-
Tchouaméni who drops to centre backs now moves out of the centre
And
back
goes to the midfield.
and goes to the midfield.
And enjoy
because
themselves.
in the 3 at the back, he plays Tchouaméni, who is a midfielder.
Tchouaméni is
He's a
a
midfielder,
midfielder.
yeah.
Rodrigo, and of course, Hudson.
And then
Three of
make
them at the
makes it
back.
easy. So what it means
Puts it
is
flat.
he pulls Tchouaméni out
To the midfield.
to the midfield
and they play
brings
natural.
his
But
two
what
players.
it will cause a lot of problems. I'll tell you
So
why.
what it means is that Madrid don't attack in numbers.
It will cause Madrid problems. Because why? Arnold is
Arnold
not
is
the
not
best,
the-
best
of course.
defensively. Arnold is flourishing right now in the Club World Cup because he's having the ability
The flamboyancy to go
please
front.
go in and have fun and give all those crowd. Be like, oh, what a pass, what a cross. When they are not thinking about what Rudiger does for him defensively to call up his last team. So if you take out Tchouaméni from that 3-man defense and you bring Arnold to play as a right back, it could be all.
But
it could
when
go
we're
all-
playing against an
it could
all
be
offensive
free
side
fall.
like PSG,
But let's not
dominating
forget
side
that
like
Paris
PSG.
Saint-Germain do have 2 red cards.
Oh yes, they do. But the two
Pacho, William
I think
Pacho.
For Lucas Hernandez is a
And Luka-
Pacho
Luka-
is the big blow.
But come on, they have Beraldo there too.
Berardo is
Who is a
not
pound
as-
for pound replacement? No.
Berardo is a
The
good
pound for pound replacement for Pacho.
Pacho is in a different level.
Of course, but at some point they were switching them. No, they were switching them at some point.
Yeah,
this
but
season.
Pacho
But
picked
when
it
this
up.
guy was injured, it was Pacho and Beraldo.
Yeah,
I think at some
Beraldo,
point.
yes, at some point.
And
So
what's his
Marquinhos.
name? Marquinhos was
Marquinhos,
injured.
yes.
Yeah, but come on with Marquinhos. Any of the pairing
There's still
goals.
Kipembe.
Yeah, Kipembe, come on. That
So
dude-
there's
come
a
on.
good replacement, but I
Yeah,
tell
there's
you,
a good replacement,
Pacho
but Pacho
brings
is-
that physicality.
And funny enough, he's
in that team.
one of the quiet guys in that
Who
team.
does the job
that
without
nobody
nobody notice.
Nobody even talks about him.
Yeah, but he does
when
the
you
job.
tell an average
Who is
football
Pacho?
fan right now who is William Pacho, they will tell you where.
But that guy has
Who-
played
who
this.
they play for?
That guy has
They
played
go and
this.
take Champions League games, go back and take
Go back
Club
and watch
World
those
Cup.
games.
I mean,
He
that
was a-
tackle was
he was
just
a Trojan.
unnecessary.
Yeah, he was.
That tackle was never supposed to be.
And
I want-
you
he's a leg
don't
breaker.
and you don't pick up a red card just after you score.
Yeah,
a goal. Come
he's a
on.
leg breaker.
It's no brainer.
It's a leg
What
breaker.
exactly were they thinking? The
But
momentum.
come on,
is-
that's superlative performance.
Why take it out?
After picking a red card, scoring a goal, picking a red card, and still going ahead to. I was expecting
Bayern to
Bayern
to
Munich
press
to.
and knock at the door and huff and puff.
They came
But
close. They came close.
They came
but-
close, I mean,
they
thank
came
you.
close.
We
But
talk about in this game, there's nothing like coming
but
close.
PSG
In sports general, nothing like coming close.
I think we must give Luis Enrique
Usman has not been
flowers.
fit, but I think he's played his part at this Club World Cup.
He's
20
coming to
minutes,
the bench,
15
comes
minutes.
from the
When
bench.
he comes in, he does
He's
his
effective.
Defense is clear.
Yeah.
Defense is clear. He has the
Absolutely.
talent.
Well,
He's an amazing player.
Our big semi-final in the FIFA Club World Cup. Fluminense, of course, are up against Chelsea in the first semi-final on Tuesday before we'll now see all European final involving Real Madrid and, of course, and Paris Saint-Germain. I beg your pardon. And the guys in the studio, they've both gone with Fluminense to beat Chelsea. And of course, I think it's unanimous also for PSG to advance in the Club World Cup.
It will be hard to bet against
a
PSG.
Real Madrid side. It will be hard to bet against European champions. I think Enrique has done something absolutely marvelous with this Paris Saint-Germain side.
Not
You
too
could,
shouty.
you could say that they are superstars, but how many can you
How
really
many
call
were
out
they superstars?
that is a superstar?
Where, from where?
This is a club they've played without Ousmane Dembele practically all through this competition.
That
They
Desiree
said
Doué
Doué
goal.
blessed
That
and-
Desiree
and to be honest,
that guy is a blessing.
And to be honest,
in the world of
Kvaratskhelia is
football.
an absolute brilliant,
Kavicha.
brilliant footballer. I think
Napoli's
he's the
loss.
most direct winger I've seen. He doesn't do all the flamboyancy. He does it a little and he's direct with
And
his
don't forget
football.
that man.
And I asked this question: how come this guy
Napoli.
escaped the mind of the entire
Madrid.
20 clubs in the Premier League
And Madrid.
and he went to Paris Saint-Germain?
What about Donnarumma? Nobody's talking about
No,
how gracious he was.
I think we cannot speak much of the goalkeeper that is in the form of his life. I think one thing I've learned is that a few years ago he was not at this
was
level.
nowhere
no,
near.
no, no.
Now,
Nowhere near.
few
Nowhere
years
near.
ago we spoke about Chelsea.
2 years ago, a year ago,
years
it was
ago
here.
we spoke about Chelsea Edward Mendy at the highest
level, yeah.
But where's Mendy today?
It's
So when
not
it comes to certain goalkeepers, I am limited in my praises for them because I know that tomorrow there's a huge
change.
possibility it will not be the same Donnarumma we used to know. But for now,
He's
I think he's the
untouchable.
best goalkeeper in the world. He's untouchable. Paris Saint-Germain have the best coach in the world. They're untouchable. But we'll see what happens in the semi-final. Well, will it be Chelsea? Will it be Palmeiras? Will it be, of course, Paris Saint-Germain or Real Madrid? 2 of the 4 will definitely make it to the final in the Club World Cup. Football Temple brought to you by Alza Studios.